Today's workout is a beginner workout, 30 seconds of work, and we do everything twice. So I would say you want to go on the lighter weight range of things, so anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds and up. Make sure you've done a warm-up, get your stuff ready, and I'll see you on the mat. All right, our first move is a squat to bicep curl. So you're gonna lower into a squat with your feet shoulder apart. Come up and palms facing, go into that bicep curl. So really think about moving from the hips, keeping your chest up as you lower in that squat, and just a nice slow pace in that bicep curl. Your toes can be slightly turned out if you feel like that's tracking better with your knees. If you are looking in a mirror, you want to make sure that your knees are lined up with your toes. Squeeze your glutes, and done. All right. Next move will be a reverse lunge. So you can do this body weight or with lighter weight. You're going to step back, nice and tall in your body, and step up, bending through that back knee. So really keeping that chest lifted, making sure that front foot is at 12 o'clock. I'll change angles here. So really keeping that front knee over the ankle. Taking your time here. Let's do one last one. In. Excellent. All right, now go with something lighter. So 3, 5, maybe 8, maybe a little bit heavier if you're able. Shoulder press. So weights are wide, lined up with your ears. Squeeze your glutes. Press those weights up over your shoulders. And pause with the dumbbells lined up at your ears. So that's what that tension spot is. Because if you're too low or too high, you won't feel your muscles working quite as hard. And just trying to get full extension in your arms at the top. All right, done. Medium weight, usually 12 to 15 pounds, could be more, could be less. Bent over row. So we're gonna take our feet hip distance apart, hinge from the hips, shoulders down, row those weights, elbows tight to your side. Weights are kind of just in front of your knees, and really bracing your core as you bring the weights up and tight to your body. Looking slightly forward on the floor in front of you. Really keeping that core tight. So you don't want to feel that in your low back. And done. Awesome. We're gonna do that again. All right, so grab your weights. Always make sure you take water when you need it, and we'll go back to that squat and curl. So remember, lower in that squat from your hips first, and then go into that bicep curl. So chest lifted, squeezing those glutes, breathing out at the top. If you can't get that deep in your squat, that's okay. Just comes with time. And so do what feels good to you. Always listen to your body. Last one here. And all right, done. Reverse lunges are next. And so make sure you've got some room to step back. Shoulders down and back. Step back, big step back. Bending through that back knee, pushing off that back leg to come up to standing. So remember, you can do this body weight if you need to. Definitely works those quads and glutes for sure. Just making sure that front knee is over the ankle as much as possible. Last one here. All right, done. All right, shoulder presses. So remember, you know you have the right weight if you're tired at the end. So with good form though. So line up those dumbbells to your ears, press the weights over your shoulders. You can be slightly in if needed. A little easier on the shoulder joint to do so, bringing those arms in slightly forward. Rather than that T position. And just really tall in your body here. Little micro bend in those knees. Breathing out as you lift. All right, good, done. Whew. Shake that out. All right, bent over row next. So, all right. Remember, you go a little heavier on this one typically. So feet about hips apart, going that nice long hinge. And then elbows tight, hold for a second and lower. Good. So working lats here, you get a little bicep on this too. Pulling exercise. It's important, quite functional. So, excellent. All right, let's sneak one last one in. Oh, done. All right. Woo, way to go. All right. We're gonna come down on the floor. So make sure we're gonna go into glute bridges. You can do this body weight or with a weight on your hips. Feet are flat to the floor. You're gonna lift your bum up off the ground, squeeze your glutes and lower. And make sure if you're using a weight, you're holding on to it. That would be a good idea. So pressing those hips up to the sky, slowly lowering. If a weight is too much, then do it body weight, that's great. It's great for your back, glutes, hamstring. Good. And last one here, and done. Excellent, all right. Something light to medium weight in a chest fly. And we're gonna keep our back flat on the mat. Palms are facing each other. You're gonna open up those arms nice and wide and close at the top. So really see if you can open up those arms. Triceps will briefly touch the mat. Wrists are nice and strong. Squeezing those arms together. So it's a good chest and tricep exercise. Closing it up. And done. Awesome. All right. So no weights next to our core exercises. So we're going to go into a bicycle crunch first. Work the obliques. So hands behind your head. You can keep your feet on the floor. Level 1. Elbow to knee. Really lifting up through the shoulder blade. Or you can cycle your legs out away from you as a harder option. So I still like to go slow and controlled on a bicycle crunch. I find a lot of people go very fast, and I find sometimes you lose the effectiveness of the exercise. All right, and done. All right, let's flip around into a plank. So if you choose to do your knees, you might want to have something for your knees, a block. You can go into your knee plank like so. Elbows are tucked underneath your shoulders. Knees are on the ground, hips are pressed forward, or you can pop your feet up onto your toes, squeeze your glutes, and breathe. So just really keeping everything nice and tight. Bracing your core to support your low back. This really is a full body exercise. And done. Go gently to your knees and flip on over. We'll do that one more time. So back to the bridge. So again, use a weight if that feels good to you. If it doesn't, then don't. All right, feet are in line with your hips. And you're gonna lift up off the ground, squeeze those glutes, and slowly lower. Keeping the feet flat on the ground. Again, making sure you're holding that weight. Good. And you can totally play around with the pace and the tempo on this. All right, one last one here. And done. Awesome. All right. Chest flies next. So remember, light to medium weights. We'll keep our back on the floor for today. So remember, weights are just right over your chest here. You're gonna open up those arms nice and wide and squeeze shut. So arms are briefly gonna touch the mat. You wanna keep the weights over your chest and not your head. See that sometimes? Good. Slight pause at the bottom. You should feel a nice chest stretch in that bottom position. And done. All right, awesome. So that takes us back to the bicycle crunch. All right, so remember, you've got options here. Hands behind your head. You can do the full version or feet on the ground. So crossing over, lifting up through the shoulder blades. The higher you keep your legs up, the easier this will be. If you start to get lower to the mat, ooh, you will find that harder. Good. Nice job. Almost done. Woo. I always like to give my knees a little hug into the chest. All right, plank is next. So let's do it. Pick your plank of choice. 30 seconds. Knee plank, level 1. Toe plank, level 2. Elbows underneath your shoulders. Step your feet back. Feet or shoulder width apart. And just keep everything nice and tight. So if you start to feel it in your low back, it's a sign to just make sure that you're in the right alignment, bracing that core. But if you need to take a break, drop to your knees and reset. Oh, done. Awesome. Look at that. Just over 10 minutes, you're done, and I hope you feel great. Make sure you do a cool down, have some water, and I'll see you at the next workout.